Okay, good morning everyone. Welcome to morning yoga. So this is 9 a.m. This is about as early as I'll do yoga ever. And not quite as early as I've ever taught yoga. The first class I ever taught was in Vancouver. It was actually in Burnaby. Shout out to my mom who's from Burnaby. And when I got my first regular class, it was at 6 a.m., which meant I was waking up at like 4:30 a.m. and would essentially ruin that day because I'd spend the rest of the day just recovering from waking up that early. I've got my slippers on. These slippers are from, I think, grade 3, which I don't know if anyone else still legitimately can fit into something that they got as a Christmas gift in grade 3, but these are the only slippers I've ever had. They're very gross on the inside. I've got my coffee as well to keep me all perked up. It is actually morning, so this is like method acting. And we'll begin standing just to make things a little bit easier. Okay, and I don't think I can actually practice with the slippers, so I'm taking them off. So stand near the front of your space, likely a yoga mat. I might actually just angle myself a little bit just to have room to stretch the arms out. So on a big breath in, reach the arms up and stretch up all the way. You can even lean a little bit from side to side, just the classic morning stretch. And then on your next exhale, join your hands together and bring them down in front of your heart. Then release your arms and inhale, sweep your arms out to the side and up, reach up. As you exhale, join your hands together and bring them down. We'll do 2 more. Inhale, big stretch up, let the breath lead the movement. And then exhale and join your hands and bring them down. And then the last one, reach your arms up. And then hands together and bring your hands back down in front of your heart. Release your arms, just adding some extra movement here. Note any groans or sighs that come out of the body with this first forward fold of the day. So inhale and sweep your arms way up, reach up high. Bend the knees softly. As you exhale, hinge at your hips as opposed to round at your spine. And then bow in, touch the ground. Oh my gosh. Inhale, lengthen for a halfway lift position. And then exhale and fold in again. Oh. And then inhale, rise all the way up, reach up high. Join your hands together and bring them down in front of your heart, and then release your arms. I tend to practice later in the evening, so that move is a lot easier when you're warmed up for the rest of the day. So again, inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, hinge forward and touch the ground. Halfway lift, lengthen your spine. Exhale and fold in. And then reverse swan dive, come all the way up, reach your arms up. And join your hands together, bring them down in front of your heart, and release your arms. One last time, inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway. Exhale and bow in. And then inhale, come all the way up, reach up high. And hands together, hands down in front of your heart. Now clasp your hands behind your back this time, bend your knee slightly and hinge forward. Just a correction for Amanda, they're actually lion slippers, not bear slippers. So shout out to my friends at One Yoga Victoria who have the lion everything. Okay, and then touch your fingers down. Halfway lift position, pause and hold the pose, but not your breath. Put your hands to the tops of your shins. Move your shins forward so your knees bend. I'm just wearing sweatpants because that's literally all I wear these days. And then as your knees go forward, move the tops of your thighs back so you can create a little arch in your low back. So primary in the pose is to create neutral position of your spine. Then place your hands to the outside of your knees. Push your knees out into the resistance of your hands until your legs get stronger. And then keep the strength in your leg, maintain the position of your spine, and push your legs straighter. So it doesn't count if you straighten your legs and then you round your back like that. That doesn't count. You're out. Bend your knees. Keep the low back slightly arched, and then just push your legs straighter from there. And that's where you feel some fairly good sensation through the back of your leg. In yoga, the specific term for that is called stretching. On an exhale, then bow in all the way, touch your fingers down, and then step your right foot back behind you, lower your knee to the floor. I like to point the back toes, but then just pull the foot forward energetically so the front of your ankle lifts, and then rise up, place your hands to your front knee. Pull the legs towards each other so your legs get strong, and then move your hips forward and then back a little bit. So just working into the stretch. What's nice with morning yoga is take it easy to begin with, and then actually energize it towards the end so that you can get on with your day. Unless Annie, you're joining us, because I don't know what time it is there. It's afternoon yoga for you. Okay, then move your hips back, anchor down through your back knee, and float your arms up. Then hold on to your right wrist with your left hand and arc over to the left. As you arc, it's both a lean, and then with your left hand pull the right arm, but anchor down with the back knee, the right knee. And then move the left side ribs forward, right side ribs back, lift your chin. And then rise up, lower your hands down, tuck your back toes, lift your back knee, step forward, and then step back. Lower your left knee down, and then rise up, place your hands to your front thigh. Again, you might actually prefer to tuck your back toes. I used to be a tucker and a pointer, and now it's kind of a mix between pointing and flexing, which can be called flointing or plexing. There's actually two different variations. They're very different. But pull your legs towards each other. The nice thing about your hands to the front thigh is you can feel the strength of your own leg. And then if you really like, you can be like, wow, I'm so strong. I'm getting so strong these days. This is great. 10,000 steps every day. And then move your hips forward and back. And final stage for the low lunge position, reach both arms up into the air, stretch up high, and hold on to your left wrist this time with your right arm. I'm a big believer of turn your palm to the right so that you hold your wrist from the inside as opposed to outside, specifically for how the upper arm bone rotates in the shoulder socket. And then arc over to the right, lift your chin, move the right side of your waist forward, left side of your waist back. And again, you can even pulse a little bit, moving in and out of the pose. Okay, and then come all the way up, and then this time touch your hands down. And just step back to an all fours position, hands and knees. In all fours, lift your left leg back behind you, and then pause and hold. Push down with your hands. Press them away from each other so your arms get stronger. Lift your chin, not to look forward in the sense of to the front of the room, like to a wall, but instead just look in front of your mat. And then adding to the challenge, reach your right arm straight forward. And I like to just offer stages along the way because there'll be some who prefer to stay in mellow position and others who are always looking to dial up their practice. So last stage 3 times is to curl in and go elbow to knee, and then reach forward and back, and then do that 2 more times. So that's 3 total. Okay, and then once you're done or just stayed holding, pause, hands and knees, all fours position. On an exhale, round your spine, tuck your chin in, move your tailbone down. And as you inhale, arch your back, look forward, lift your glutes up, and then do that a few more times. So exhale is to curl in, and then inhale is to arch. And Just continuing for about 5 to 7 cycles of this. I trust that you know what you're doing at this point, moving with your breath. I saw a YouTube video on this, that this is one of the best ways to warm up your spine if you do it about maybe 5 to 7 times. Once you get past 7, it doesn't really do anything better. It's already done its work. So it's just a waste of time. And it's got to be right because it's on YouTube. And I believe everything on the internet. So now you should believe me. Lift your right leg back behind you. Stage 1, nothing wrong staying here, just getting strong. Or lift your left arm forward as well, stage 2. Embrace the balance that's required. Be careful if your coffee is nearby, don't kick it. And then final stage option to curl in elbow to knee, and then to reach and extend out. So 3 times total, nothing crazy. And then last one. Okay, and then lower your hand, lower your knee. Move your knees back a little bit, just setting up for downward facing dog. Then move your hips back so that they're slightly behind your knees. Tuck your toes under, push your knees out to the sides energetically, similar to what we did in the halfway lift position. So your glutes get stronger, and then tuck your toes under, lift the glutes up and push your legs straighter from that position. You're welcome to look between your hands or to look to the floor underneath you. Actively push your hands forward and away from each other. Push your feet away from each other and press your legs straighter. On your next inhale, come forward, plank position. Pause and hold. And then just because it's morning, I'm going to go easy on y'all. Lower your knees down, then bend your elbows and slowly lower all the way down to the floor. Lift your shoulders high, point your toes back, lift your hands to hover, and rise up into little baby cobra. Just a little baby. Pull your elbows back, keep your chin lifted, pause and hold the position of your shoulders, but lower your hands down, and then option to use your arms to rise up into a higher cobra, maybe looking forward. Then tuck your toes and press your way back to downward facing dog. On your next inhale, move forward again, plank, and lower your knees down to the floor. Then rise up onto a right fist. Sit back towards your left heel a little bit and lift your right leg out to the side and pause here. So awakening the glutes, lower your right knee to touch your left knee, and then reopen your leg. And that's all it is. You can coordinate it with your breath. So the inhale is open, exhale is close, or you can inhale, open, close, exhale, open, close. I have a few students who do this with the right hand lifted, cupping the back of the head. That's too far for me, so I'm happy to just stay going side to side. Next time your leg is out to the side, keep it out to the side. Pull your knee forward, move your knee back, pull your knee forward, move your knee back, forward, back. One more time, forward, hang in there. Circle your knee one way 3 times. And circle your knee the other way 3 times. Oh my goodness. Okay, and then step your foot back, knee down, hand flat, tuck under, and lift into plank position. Now the arms are just like, hey, don't worry, butt muscles. I'm here to give you a bit of a break. The interesting thing with that fire hydrant position, we often call it, is that it's not the leg that's moving that does the work. It's actually the stabilizing leg that does a lot of the work, which is quite similar in one-legged balancing positions. Up to you to go knees down or keep your knees lifted as you slowly lower all the way down to the floor. Point your toes back, push with your hands, rise up. Any size cobra, or even press through the tops of your feet for upward dog. Pushing the arms straighter, look forward, pausing to hold the position. No rush, it's morning. And then exhale, push back, downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. And pausing to hold here. The nice thing about down dog is having 4 points of contact on the floor. It's a fairly stable position. It's one where you can close your eyes and just check in to see how the body feels today. It's a good check-in every morning. Am I feeling great? Yeah. Well then let's give her. Time to give her, Diener. And then it's like, oh, if I feel a little achy, tired, sore, maybe go easy on yourself. Don't be so judgmental. Judge other people. Don't judge yourself. Jeez. It's hard enough. Lower your knees down and then rise onto your left fist or fingertips. Lift your left leg out and then close your leg and continue that fire hydrant position. The point of just coming up onto the left fist or fingertips is to just lift your left shoulder slightly higher than your right shoulder. It's slightly easier to get more mobility and movement of the left leg out to the side. As you do this, you can make it more challenging by pushing your right knee out to the right, even though it stays fixed. And then next time you have your left leg out to the side, keep it out to the side. Pull your knee forward. Move your knee back. Pull it forward. Move it back. Forward. And back. And one last time forward. Circle one way 3 times. Woo! And then circle the other way 3 times. Okay, and then lower your hand down, lower your knee down, move your hips back, tuck your toes under, and then lift your butt up, downward facing dog. Deep breath in, and deep breath out. Look forward between your hands and either slowly step forward or playfully hop forward, standing forward fold Uttanasana. Inhale, lengthen your spine. And then exhale, bow in. It's called Uttanasana just because, especially in the morning practice, it's like, ooh, Uttanasana, ooh, Onomatopoeia. Now, bend your knees and lift your arms up for chair pose, Utkatasana, which also is a bit of a onomatopoeia, Utkatasana, ooh. Holding here. You're welcome to go arms forward. I sometimes like to go globe hands, add a little bit of Bowie-ness to it. It can be David Bowie. I wonder how come there's no David Bowie doing bowspring pictures. Option to reach your arms alongside you. I've got some Crouching Cat Stevens pictures. Holding strong here. Embrace the fire and heat that generates from the legs. And then just for extra panic, lean to your right foot and then lift your left foot just to hover. So it's the one-legged chair position. It doesn't have to be much of a hover. If you want to intensify, you can always extend your legs straighter. Could sink down into the classic roller skating move, shoot the duck. Lower your foot and switch sides. Lori, if you're still on, I don't mean that literally. Lean to your left foot, lift your right foot to hover, pause and hold, look forward. And then again, option 2. If you want to, go cray-cray. Just extend your legs straighter. Whoa, and then lower your foot down. Straighten your legs all the way. Reach up. And then hold your left wrist. Arc over to the right. Hold your right wrist and arc over to your left. And then release your arms down. Turn to the long side of your mat. Have a quick sip of morning juice. The day is better. And then place your hands to your hips, bend your knees, tilt forward, hinge, and touch your fingers to the floor, wide-legged forward fold. Yesterday I wasn't supervising my coffee machine and somehow it got plugged, and yeah, the one word to describe it, catastrophe for the whole kitchen. More specifically, catastrophe that I didn't really have a very good cup of coffee. It was quite heartbreaking.
Option to hold on to your big toes or move your fingers back so that they're in line with your toes. If you're someone who uses inversions to turn your day upside down, you're welcome to give that a go. Going into tripod headstand. It's morning. I usually take things pretty easy. I don't try the challenging inversions in the morning myself. Okay, walk the hands forward. Bring your legs down if you went inversion style. And then one hand to your knee, other hand to your knee, slowly rise up. Stretch your arms out. Have a long stance with your legs. Turn your right foot in a little bit. Turn your left foot out. And then bend into your knee, warrior two. We'll do a few poses in a row, but not super long in terms of the holds. Option to turn your palms face up to create more opening through your front body. As long as you're not practicing with other strangers in the room, you're welcome to breathe in and out through your mouth as an opportunity to soften the energy, create a cooling breath. Place your left forearm to your thigh and then swing your right arm alongside your ear. Reach your arm long. I've noticed when I wear one of those surgical masks as my facial mask, I have a tendency to breathe through my mouth all the time now. It's almost a little bit easier to breathe through the mouth. I've been thinking that the real secret is to put like some sort of coffee packet in, like maybe like a juice box, and like put it within the mask, and then I can just like slurp away at it so there's an extra treat that no one even knows about. Okay, push with your feet, rise up to warrior two pose again. This time though, clasp your hands behind your back and bow forward. I was recognizing there are some practical positive uses of wearing a mask. One was biking in the winter time. It was great. Another was I was in the office the other day and using the office bathroom. Whew, gotta say the mask changed everything. I was very happy to have a mask on. It's helpful not having to, no more need to buy mints to freshen your breath because no one will ever smell your breath. Slowly rise up again. One more. Straighten your left leg and triangle position. I'm just using a block because I like that. And then reach your arm up. Another really great thing about masks is that you can change your voice. And you can use like new accents and no one will even know. You could be with your friends, they'll be like, who's talking? And it's like, nobody. You wouldn't actually be with your friends, right? Because you can't be with your friends. Okay, and then push with your feet and slowly rise all the way up. And then hands to your hips. Heel toe your feet together for a little bit of a body break. I often call these arm balance interludes. So just bend your knees, sitting into a chair position. If you want to skip the arm balance, you could always go wider with your feet and sit down for a squat. I just like chair as a entry point into crow pose. So bring your hands down, lift your heels, bend your elbows, put your shins to your upper arms, and then lean forward to lift your feet up. And then squeeze your knees in, push the hands down and away from each other. Push the elbows out into the knees as you squeeze in. Push your feet into each other. Try to lift your hips up high. Okay, and then lower your feet. If you're in the squat, everyone just come back into chair position. Wake up call. And then straighten your legs. Go for the wide stance again. Reaching out. This time, turn your left foot in. Turn your right foot out, bend into your knee, warrior two position, second side. Actively pull your feet towards each other. If you're looking for true depth and true form of the pose, working the front thigh parallel to the floor. Again, I'm speaking to my own practicing habits, which is that morning time, I try to go about 80%. You're just not going to be as warmed up But the nice thing about morning is eventually you start to become quite sharp. This isn't really like super early morning. We're not doing the 6 a.m. class. Okay, then go right forearm to your thigh. Swing your arm in line with your ear. Filming began at 9 a.m. Sun is shining. Frost delay. Actively reach and extend your arm. Pull the feet towards each other. More difficult is just hand down to the floor. But knowing that there's 4 poses in a row, just knowing that you don't always have to make the first one the most difficult. Push with your feet, rise up, warrior 2. And then humble warrior, have your other thumb over top and hinge forward towards the inside of your right leg. Bowing in. Actively push your feet away from each other. Find an evenness in your breath. 1 more to go. Push with your feet, come up, then straighten your right leg. This time reach the arms out. Hinge and lean over that front leg, the right leg. Option to go hand to a block, hand up in the air, triangle position. Making a triangle with your legs, making a triangle with your feet and your hand. There's also some other triangles that you can form with your lower arm, the ground, and your shin. For me, my favorite performance growing up in elementary school was using the triangle in band. Be like, yes, now that is an instrument I want to see more professional musicians use. Okay, and then inhale, slowly rise up. Bring your fingers together, bend your knees. Trying to do this with me. It's going to be a hop and then a slap of the thighs. So it'll be on 3, and then we'll hop the feet together and slap the thighs. Not yet. 1, 2, 3. Yes! We got it. Okay, face forward again. And then lean to your right foot. Lift your left foot for tree pose. So you can grab your foot, put it to your inner thigh, or you could just put it to the inner shin or make a kickstand. Just go hands to the hips so that your hips point forward. My tendency is that I used to try to get the knee out to the side as much as I could, which I can, but then I looked, and if you check, my hips are actually facing over to the left here. So all I'm literally doing is just turning my whole body as opposed to staying fixed. Using the left foot to move the right inner thigh back, so there's a rotation inward, and then keeping the hip square, open the knee out to the side, and that's as far as it goes. It doesn't go that far. 3 poses in a row, just because it's extra fun. Stage 1, maybe the easier of them. Stage 2 now, swing your leg back behind you, tilt forward for airplane position, arms alongside you. You're welcome to create a little bit of a pulse with your right leg. And then last one, swing your left leg up and over and cross ankle over your knee. Bend your standing leg, mood enhancer. Take your hands, grab both cheeks, not these cheeks, and then lift them up. Tilt forward. From there, join your hands together. Breathe in. And then option to twist towards the right. If you can hook your elbow to the bottom of your foot, do so. That's too far for me at the morning time. So just left hand to the ankle, right hand to your hip, and twist. Okay, and then on your next inhale, untwist. Lower your foot down and switch sides. Bounce on your left. Place your right foot for tree pose. And then hands together in front of your heart. Keep the hips square. You could even bend your standing leg a little bit to add to the challenge. Use your right foot to rotate your left thigh inwards. Open your knee out to the side without turning your whole body. From there, option to reach up higher. Look forward. Okay, and then we'll swing the leg back behind for airplane position. So knee forward first, release the foot, swing your leg back, and then arms alongside you. It can be palms face up to feel more openness through the chest, palms face down to offer, or pardon me, it's the opposite. Palms face down, openness in the chest, palms face up. I was thinking on the back. I'm already thinking about Shavasana. Ooh, just saying that word creates a dulling of energy. There used to be a studio in town called Moksha, and there was a Moksha sequence, and then there was middle Shavasana, and I was notorious for going into middle Shavasana and then waking up like half an hour later and no one would be in the room. It'd just be like this 1 minute Shavasana. Swing your leg up and over, ankle over knee. Let go of opening the knee out as the prime goal. Like I can do that a lot, just as I explained in tree. Instead, lift the knee up, bend your standing leg, grab your butt, lift that up, and then try to keep the little arch you make in your low back and open your knee out to the side. Ooh, there we go. Tilting forward. Stay here or add a twist towards the left, where it can get a little bit challenging if you have a blank white wall. You can always make it extra challenging by closing your eyes. Okay, and then slowly untwist, unwrap, lower your foot, reach your arms up high, big stretch. And then on an exhale, hinge forward, touch your hands down. Step back to plank position, the top of a push-up, and then lower down halfway or all the way. Lift for your back bend, and then push back, downward facing dog. Slide your right shin forward for pigeon prep position. Just have a look back at your left leg. Keep your leg straight through the long edge of the mat. And then just because there'll be two different energy levels at this point. Some of you hoping for middle Shavasana. You could then come down onto your elbows or make pancakes with your hands. Put your forehead to your pancaked hands. They're not pancakes, so don't put your mouth or open mouth into your hands, especially if you haven't washed them. The other option though, because it's morning, is you might want to keep this energy going, so you could reach back and hold your back foot for a thigh stretch. And then you could go right hand to your thigh or even right arm up into the air. It becomes a bit of a balancing position. We'll eventually switch legs. The nice thing about this position is that you're almost in chaturanga. You could just lift your back knee, hands down, chaturanga, going through a flow, and then press it back to down dog. Slide your the correct shin forward, the left shin. And then again, have a peek just so that you don't get all wobbly and forgetful of the back leg. So sometimes I tuck, sometimes I point. I might tuck a little bit more in pigeon. Lift up tall, even hover the hands momentarily so your legs are strong. And then lower down onto your elbows. You can stack the hands again, option there. Or keep your left hand down, bend your knee, reach back behind you, grab hold of your foot. If you want to intensify the stretch, you could always hold big toe side of your foot with thumb up and then pull the heel in, or even work towards holding the foot through the inner crease of the elbow. Oh, it's morning. Something hadn't been able to do for a while, but starting to be able to do it again. But that's later in the day. Oh, yeah. I need a few more hours in me and probably about 6 more cups of coffee. But I'm not addicted to coffee. You can't be addicted to coffee. It's something that you can be addicted to. And 6 is just normal. Because I've already had a couple this morning, that's going to be like 8. So that's not that many. Okay, and then hand down, option to do that chaturanga flow one more time. And then push it back. Okay, and then lower your knees down. And then tuck your toes. Lift your knees to hover. And turn your knees to the left. Bring your right hip down. Reach your right arm long and just slowly wiggle onto your back. Wiggling on your back, extend your right leg up into the air, hold the back of your thigh. Try to keep your low back lifted as opposed to pressing down. It can be a little bit opposite of what is sometimes said, but the low back lifted is just the natural curvature of the spine, and it'll actually increase the stretch of your hamstring. Option to extend your left leg longer if you want. And then switch to your other leg, lift your left leg up, hold the back of your thigh, push the leg straighter. Okay, and then lower your foot down, bring your arms alongside you. General rule is that you can brush your heels with your fingertips. Sitting up for bridge pose, bend your elbows, push your elbows down, push your feet down, lift your hips up. And then slowly lower your hips down. That's just that initial stage. If you want to rest in between, you could go knees together or bottoms of your feet together. Setting up for round two. Round two has one leg lift into the air, so it's a little bit easier if your feet are actually together to begin with, just so that it's more midline. Lift your hips up, bring your right knee in, and then extend your right leg straighter. Doesn't have to go all the way to straight. And then lower your foot, and then second side. Knee in and extend your leg up. Fortunately, we're not octopi with like 8 different sides. It'd be so challenging. Okay, and then lower your foot and lower your hips. Option to sit the next one out. You can go bottoms of your feet together, knees out to the side, or you could hug your knees in for reclined child's pose. Or, because it's morning, you might feel this is your replacement for a cup of coffee. Hands beside your ears, push to the top of your head. Take the hands a little bit wider, plug your elbows into your armpits, and then push yourself up for wheel pose, Urdhva Dhanurasana. You can always add the one-legged version if you're feeling pretty fiery. Again, I'm just happy to get into this pose this early in the day. Then slowly come down, just slowly come out of the child's pose or feet together, knees out. And then cross your right ankle over your left thigh for thread the needle position. Lift your left foot. The threading of the needle is the right arm goes through the legs, hold the top of the left shin. And then as you bring the knee in, use your hands to pull your thigh bone down towards your hip socket. And then use your right elbow to just gently nudge your right knee out to the side. Be like, hey, get away from me, knee. Like, you don't need to be this close. Okay, and then switch. You can do the mid-air switcheroo, where you just switch without bringing your legs down. And then this time it's the left arm that threads the gap. Some like to hold the back of the thigh. I actually just like to hold the top of the shin pretty close to the knee itself. And then it's a little bit easier to guide the thigh bone straight down. And then it's like, whoa, left knee, hey, you're too close. And left elbow is just like, get out of here, man. There's no space for you. Seat's taken. You can't sit here. That's from Forrest Gump. Okay, and then release your leg. You're always welcome to add that with a twist. It would then be crossing the right ankle again. I'm just going to do a basic one though, so just move the hips a little to the right and then drop the knees over to the left. You can use your left hand on the outside of the right thigh just for a gentle twist. My favorite is actually to have the right elbow point straight up and hold like underneath the front edge of the mat, and let the left side body come all the way down, and instead encourage the twist from that anchored position, as opposed to anchoring the shoulder down and not having the legs go all the way down. Of course, if you can do both, you don't know the difference, but if you know the difference, it's a big difference. And then lift your legs up, and then hips, I just about said ships to the left. I shouldn't have said that I was just about, now I'm embarrassed that I said it. Legs to the right. Again, if you're doing the thread the needle version, it's crossing the left ankle over the right knee. And it could be arms straight, gazing into the distance, like your favorite poem. Or you could hold, imagine like you're holding on to Chuck Norris's Total Station, and let the legs drop all the way to the right. Deep breath in. Inhales are length, and then exhale, use that to twist yourself. So the torso twists from right to left in this position. The legs go to the right, but the twist is to the left. Okay, and then come all the way up. And then hug your knees in. Give yourself a squeeze option to curl in and bring forehead to your knees. Deep breath in. And on an exhale, release yourself out for Shavasana, the one and only. If you're close to a wall like I am, you're always welcome to position yourself where you have one hip up against the wall, and then slide your legs up the wall as well. Just add a little bit of a hamstring stretch to the relaxation. So there's an element of fire and intensity, even though we're at that moment where we're settling the energy. A momentary pose of repose before reawakening to the day at hand. Let the back of your body be heavy. Soften your skin. Let go of any tension in joints, in particular your jaw, muscles in your face. And breathe steadily. And take a big breath in and a big breath out. Find some gentle movement in your fingers and your toes. If you happen to go legs up the wall, you may want to bend your knees right away and roll over to one side, just to give the body a little bit extra time to have blood flow to your feet again. If you're on your back, you can of course stretch your legs long and reach your arms up overhead. The morning stretch in the morning makes so much more sense, especially if you practice in bed. Might be a future video. practice you can do in the morning. Might be better not to be a live stream. Okay, and then if you're on your back, roll to your side. And then use your upper hand on the floor to push your way up to a tall seated position to finish. Once you arrive, please join your hands together. Press your hands firm into each other. Feel the awakeness, the charge, the energy that is present. And hopefully the sun that is shining for you through the rest of the day. Take a deep breath in. Open your mouth. Exhale it out. Namaste.